Hello and welcome back to the Batch Report. We're here to talk about the Bad Batch, Episode 4, Cornered. And I am your host, Braydon Leadbetter.
And I'm your co-host, Jackson Daleen.
Jackson, how are you doing on this fine Friday?
It's good. I got out of work at a reasonable time, so I'm able to enjoy the rest of the day.
Anything new Star Wars-wise at the Goodwill?
Absolutely, actually. So... I obviously have talked to you about this, but for the audience, I work at Goodwill and I bought a PlayStation 2 last week. Mm-hmm. And this current week, I work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays there. A bunch of PS2 games came through, and I was one of the only people who grabbed the actual worthy ones. So of the Star Wars games, I got Lego Star Wars 2. And Revenge of the Sith, the game, which that was a cool find. What else did I get? I got Spider-Man 2, the game. I got Guitar Hero 3, The Godfather.
Ooh, Guitar Hero. You're gonna have to get are you gonna get a guitar remote?
Yeah, we need one. We have like 2 in 1 as well, but we don't have a controller yet for it.
Oh, I love Guitar Hero 3. Welcome to Guitar Hero Talk, everybody.
Yeah. I got Gun, which was a Western game.
Nice.
And then, what was the other? I think that was it. Oh, I got like Forza 3. That was it. But yeah, cool. So I'm very, very, very excited. All I need is a memory card, and I'm very, very excited to start Revenge of the Sith. I do really hope it works.
Yeah, it better, because I haven't. When's the last time I even thought about that game?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I think the last time I played Revenge of the Sith on PS2 was probably like 2005, 2006.
Oh yeah, no, I'm once I get that memory card, I'm a friend of mine's hooking me up with some stuff, and I think he's got Star Wars Battlefront too, so hopefully I'll get that soon.
Oh, the OG,
as well.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna have the full vintage set of all the Star Wars games, and I'm just gonna just burn through all of those, just play through them all. It's gonna be great. I'm really, really excited. Yeah.
Yeah, you're excited?
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. No, I'm big hype.
Okay.
What about you?
Well, I haven't really been working at the Goodwill recently.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if I can answer that question, but let's dive into this episode here. This was one of the more calm. It's not really a calm episode, but like compared to what we've gotten, it is. Yeah. The stakes are. I don't even want to say that, but like. I don't know. Something about this episode
feels like a filler episode. Where
but it wasn't, because what was happening was very like it had to happen, and it was like the stakes were high. But something about it like made it feel like.
I think it was more that it was like that was the only thing that happened, or the only thing that was important to the overall story.
That might have been it. I'm also, I think that we were spoiled with that first episode. It almost feels like a mini movie, and then with this one, there's like 2 major really events, and that's about it. And we kind of knew that like the stakes with Omega, like they were going to turn out okay anyway. But let's kind of.
I think I'll say a quick piece. I think I agree with how the first movie, like there's a lot in it, yeah, but now they got to stretch everything out to 16 episodes, and you're just Yeah, so I would be surprised if we get a little more kind of like that, but I don't think everything will.
Well, what are some of your thoughts on just the episode as a whole? Like, what did you think of the overall episode?
It was definitely like I liked the playfulness of it without it being too childish, I guess, if that's what I want to say. Not like that's a bad thing, but you know what I mean? Like it was more like adult fun than rather like the kid like wonder fun,
Right.
Yeah, like the whole Echo bit was funny, and I was like, oh, haha, like they sold my boy, like No, I like seeing more Fenix Shand. That was kind of obviously that was the big thing from this episode, was getting to see Fennec.
It's funny because whenever I hear her do voice work, I just think of Mulan. So it's just like, hey, it's Mulan in Star Wars.
I thought it was funny. I was sitting there, I was like, wow, Fenix Shand really just kept doing this for like another like 25 years. Like like she just was in the exact same spot until whatever happened in Mandalorian. And
right. Well, we'll get into the juicy deets on Fenix Shand here in a second, but yeah, I think this episode was. I was really excited for this episode because it was the first time we were going into like this unknown, uncharted territory now. Because, like I've said before, I think a lot of the people who got early access to the Bad Batch, they only got the first 3 episodes, so now like everybody's together now. Yeah, I was expecting there to be. I think I just wanted there to be more things that were happening than just the one, which it's a very nitpicky complaint, but it's just, wanting more. It's not really a criticism. It's more of just man, wish I got some more.
Right. And I think that'll obviously kind of build up as we get deeper in the season. We're only a 4th in. So
yeah, that's
crazy to think too.
Yeah. We still have like 12 weeks left of this show.
Yeah.
So we're going to be here a while, Jackson. Get comfy.
Yeah. Right.
But we were talking about the kind of the funny moments with Echo and stuff like that. Are there any other kind of moments of comedy in this episode that kind of stuck out to you?
There was a line Wrecker had when it was funny because I listened to it like 3 different times because my Disney Plus kind of bugged out at that moment.
Oh yeah,
but it still got me every time. Was when Tech is telling Wrecker what he needs to remove, and Wrecker goes, just tell me what I need to pull out. He's like, I don't care.
Or like,
and it got me every time
when he's like, you shouldn't have told me we were out of rations because now I'm starving.
Yeah.
This isn't really like a moment of comedy, but I thought it was so funny. So I didn't know. This must be in like a new funny type of droid, but it's like an astromech, but it had little arms and legs.
The waddle, yeah. Like walked around.
I like sat there like legitimately chuckling at that. It's like, what's up, Eric?
What's up, dude? It's like wah, wah, wah.
Yeah. Yeah, he kind of walked like a Chad, but yeah, I think a lot of the other funny moments were again with Echo posing as the droid. He's talking about how
he's like, I'm at least worth.
I'm at least worth 4,000. Yeah. And I think that was really fun, and that it played like a moment from Clone Wars.
Yes, this whole episode felt like a Clone Wars episode.
Yeah. Which I mean, obviously is the point. This is basically Clone Wars season 8, but like I think just that specifically like makes me think of episodes I've seen of the Clone Wars.
That like old fun like kind of like banter that they would have.
Yeah. What were some of your favorite moments of like action adventure?
The fight between Fennec and Hunter stood the most out to me. I just love it was funny because it was when he was in the street and he pulls the knife and she pulls the gun. And I was like, I said it out loud. I turned to the dog and I was like, neither of them miss. I was like, how are they going to do this?
Never bring a knife to a gunfight. Yeah.
But it was so cool because he threw it and she like blocked it real fast. Yeah. And I was like, ooh, I was like, that was cool. That was a really cool fight to me. And then I also like when like her and Wrecker have their moment, but it's literally like she looks to the side and you're like, oh, she has a plan. Like easy, fight's over. As he's charging her, she her eyes dart to the side before she throws him into the panel.
Yeah, and that's kind of I think this would have benefited if maybe by the end of the episode Omega was separated from the guys.
I think that is going to happen regardless, but I agree that it should have happened.
I think that by the end of the episode I was like, oh, well, they could have just like not even gone
back
to this
at square one.
Yeah, we're kind of back to square one. That's but again, that's nitpicky because that's just me wanting more. But I think one of my favorite action kind of moments was whenever like that whole chase scene in that one town. It felt very Attack of the Clones.
Yes.
Which I liked. And this planet Pantora, it feels like a very weird Coruscant. Like if Coruscant was in like an alternate universe.
It looked. See, all right. So this is actually my nitpick with this. the Pantora design, although we've seen Pantora before in Clone Wars, it just looked really basic. It looked like the village from episode 2. It looks like the streets of Lothal. That's what it felt like.
It kind of does.
It gave off that vibe to the point where I was like, yes, there's more happening, but overall I feel like I don't like this planet. Just looks vague, like just kind of cookie cutter to the rest.
It does feel very Lothal, but I think the Coruscant aspect that I got from it were like a lot of the neon signs at night
and a lot of the
the traffic ahead,
the highways. Yeah.
I think, like I said, that was kind of my favorite moment of action, was that whole chase thing. Do you remember, are there any kind of quotes or anything like that kind of stood out to you?
No, nothing big. Fenix Shand's final line was cool. But I will find her.
Yeah. Well, let's kind of, speaking of Fenix Shand, I have a lot of questions as to why she's doing what she's doing. Do you have any speculation as to who she could be working for?
I have 2. It's either just, I'll say Camino, it's either someone from Camino, or it's Palpatine.
Interesting.
I think Palpatine, because she obviously has direct line to whoever this person is, which leads me more to, and it was more the Omega thing, so it leads me to believe that since Omega is gone, Palpatine's got some kind of plan with her, and he's like jumping on it at least.
Yeah.
Or, something of that sort. I don't think it's like the Empire trying to find her. I think it's more Palpatine's agenda, or it's who's the Kaminoan lady?
Lama Su,
yes. Like her or the dude, the prime minister.
Yeah, I don't know. The only reservation I have with it being the Kaminoans is that I don't know if they would hire actually, I don't know, because with
I'd be like, really?
While I was speaking, I was like, oh wait, Jango Fett is a bounty hunter. But I just mean like in the sense that
of like using a bounty hunter.
Yeah, using a bounty hunter, because typically bounty hunters will either go out to kill or go out to, take someone for a very high price. And I don't know if, I don't know. It's, the more I think about it, the more it makes sense, but I don't know.
Like
I want it to be unexpected. I want it to be not the Kaminoans.
Yeah, but I think it is because they're going to be like, oh, we got to jump on it because the Empire is going to find out that this girl A is important and B is gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wonder why they want her back. If it is the Kaminoans, why they would want her back so badly whenever she kind of just walked around and maybe helped out a little bit.
They talk about the donors in whichever episode previously. They talk about how Jango Fett's DNA is no longer good. I think the plan was to essentially make a strong enough clone that they can just use that DNA. I don't know if that's how that works, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I just love how we're 4 episodes in and we already have so many questions we want to see answered.
Yeah.
Because I think that's probably a lot of my qualms with some of the episodes of Clone Wars is a lot of the time they'll pose a question at the beginning of an episode.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end, it's just like, all right, close the book. Next one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there is a lot of room for speculation between the episodes, which is good for me. One thing that kind of stuck out to me was whenever Wrecker and Fenix Shand have that little scuffle in the sewers, and Wrecker hits his head again.
Yeah,
I thought he was going to turn right there, and that would have been interesting to see too. But again, he hits his head. And it's never even brought up or mentioned. I
almost wonder if the reason they're doing it so many times is because since Wrecker's so strong, it takes a couple hits for him to snap.
Yeah, he was wearing his helmet too, and that happened.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I think and I think too he got electrocuted, so I think that's that was the impact that he took. Which leads me to believe that one or two more times will be the one that kicks it on. Yeah, I think that's I
think that's something they're saving for the latter half, because I think we're a little early on for there to be
something needs. Well, the thing is that they don't really have a purpose yet. The the group, I think that we need to discover that first.
They're still finding their mission. And this was, I think another thing that kind of makes this feel like a side story is that the only reason they're at Pantora is because they're on a supply run, because they're out of rations and fuel and all that kind of thing.
It definitely felt like this dumb side quest that just went awry.
Yeah. We were talking about quotes earlier. I think one quote I actually did write down that kind of clues you in on the state of both sides is, I think Omega goes, "The war is over, isn't that good?" After Rampart does the whole, chain code thing. And I think it's either Tech or Echo that says depends on which side you're on. And I was like, that's so true though, because if you were a separatist and it turned into the Empire, then you're probably rejoicing and cheering. But if you're, the
Republic,
whatever percent of people who were for the Republic, that kind of sucks. And your life changes in a big way.
Well, and whatever benefits the Republic gave to said percentage is now at a very base
Well, and that's what Tech even says in the beginning of the episode. He says if this was the Republic, they would just be able to give us the resources we need, like the fuel and the rations, whenever we would need. But that's not the case anymore.
Right. And I think that's funny that the Empire eventually kind of turns into what the Republic did of it picked and choose which it felt valuable while still kind of pulling on this facade of everybody is for everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Are there any, before we get out for the day, are there any standout themes or any other moments you wanted to talk about?
Not really in this one. It really just was this filler. It was all for the action and the spectacle. There wasn't a big lesson to learn from this.
I don't know. I think that there is a big theme of value.
Yes.
And, one being monetary value with the credits and also valuing the value of friendships, the value of yourself, a value you put on yourself, kind of with Echo and being like, I'm worth way more than 2,000 credits. He's having this internal man,
he understands
that. Sell me for 2,000 credits. I'm worth a little more than that.
My death was faked, and I was kidnapped to become a secret intelligence for the other side. I'm not 2,000 credits.
Yeah, and it also, it feels like it's also commenting on kind of the value of, well, one, literally the value of credits, and because it deals a lot with paying people off in this episode, and Fennec gives that one guy the money, and says that he needs to what does she say?
That was a cool. He's like, don't kill me, and she just tosses him. Is like, if they come back, you know how to contact me.
Yeah, she's like, keep me up to date, because if they come back, I want that little Palpatine girl.
I want that little blonde thing.
I want the little blonde kid. But yeah, I think, and there's also, as always, in pretty much every Star Wars property, these themes of, hope and...
this is just a very basic episode. I agree with the monetary value thing of everything is... you did make a good point that everyone kind of needed to be paid off in this episode.
Yeah.
So
I think that's the kind of town it is too.
Well, and I think too that's such a world to introduce Omega to, is that while it is pretty and you want to adventure it all, it is dangerous.
Yeah,
and it is not friendly.
And whenever Hunter even jokes about, come on, we're not here to sightsee. And she's like, oh, we're here to sightsee?
Sightsee, yeah.
He's like, no, we don't have time for that.
And he's like, no, it's not how that works, yeah.
Yeah, that's a very... they're really... hearkening on the fact that Omega wants to see everything and see the galaxy and see all these different planets.
She has that
can't.
line directly. She's like, I've lived on Camino. She goes, hide. I've lived on Camino my whole life. I don't want to hide.
Yeah, exactly. I just think that's something that's really, it allows us to want that for Omega and want her to, see all of these, these different planets and encounter these different things and, see the dirty part of the galaxy, see the nice part of the galaxy.
Sorry. Which leads me to believe that instead of killing off the Bad Batch, they're going to end it with they just kind of disappear and that the Bad Batch spend the rest of their days adventuring for Omega.
No, the Bad Batch is actually the Knights of Ren.
Whoa.
I don't know.
I know that's not true, but whoa, imagine.
Yeah, Bad Batch is the Knights of Ren, and Omega's is Phasma.
Omega's Kylo Ren. It's just a really good disguise.
Omega is Kylo Ren confirmed. Well, kind of closing out here, do you have any more predictions kind of going forward with this season?
Not really based off of this episode. I think for sure we'll see Fennec again.
Yeah.
Probably in another episode or two. I wonder if Fennec will turn good or if she's going to be a recurring villain because she is still a hardcore bounty hunter at this time.
No, I think she'll definitely play the Boba Fett role of she doesn't really choose sides as long as she gets paid.
That's fair. Well, and I think that's so funny that she ends up becoming Boba's apprentice.
I think they're playing off of that with this too.
Is that it's all about honor?
Yeah, and I think that Fennec's role in the Bad Batch is very much going to be whoever can pay her or benefit her is who she's going to be. It is who she's going to be, whose side she's going to be on.
Right.
I don't think we'll ever see her defending the Empire or defending the rebellion or anything like that.
Well, and I didn't. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, that was really all I had.
Good talk. All right, bye.
Cool. Bye.
Well, thank you guys so much for tuning into this week's review of The Batch Report, the Bad Batch Episode 4 Cornered Review. If you want to cornhold review. Hey, Jackson, would you like to review my cornhole later?
It's okay. I have a girlfriend. Thank you, though.
All right, I'll ask next week sometime.
I'll check again later.
Check again later. If you would like to find us on the social medias, you can find us on Instagram at Through Imperialized Pod, on Twitter at Imperialized Pod, and on YouTube you can find us on Through Imperialized Podcast. Jackson, where can they find you?
You can find me, as always, on the Twitters at Quacks and Scaling. That's QUACKSON and Scaling like the triangle. And then you can find my photography Instagram, which is at Deleen_photography, which is DALEEN_photography.
Now, how do you spell photography there, good buddy?
PHOTOGRAPHY.
Photography. PHOTOGRAPHY. Photography. I was doing spelling bee. All right. Well, if you want to find me on social media, my personal Instagram is at braydonleadbetter, and on my personal Twitter, it is at braydonleadbetter. And as always, you can hit us up on our Apple Podcast. Leave that review, leave that rating. Don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
And on Spotify, if you don't use the old Apple Podcast, you can just follow us. Any other, if you're listening to this on Overcast, I mean, who are you who uses Overcast? But good on you.
Yeah, I listen to my podcasts on Napster.
Yeah. But as always, we will be back next week for another episode of The Batch Report, episode number 5. And also again on Thursday with some news and other yummy Through Imperialized talkings of Star Wars. But until then, and until we talk to you next week, may the Force be with you.